Good day, everybody. This is Carly Gordon with Sarasota County Schools, here to talk about some Zoom settings you may want to review before you meet with your concurrent students. First thing we're going to want to do is to click the little gear here for settings. This will bring up another window for settings, and from there we're going to click View More Settings. This should open up a web browser which should log you in to your account. And the first thing that I'm going to want to do is change this image to something static. This picture will be seen by any students anytime you push pause on a video. So instead of a picture of me, I think I'm going to change it to something else. Do take note that it must be a JPEG or a GIF or a PNG file when you're doing that, so it can't be like a Word doc. So I'm going to do this one. So, and then notice that it has a little block around here and it kind of shows you what students will see. I'm actually just going to drag that out. You can just drag it from the top and the bottom. And then that to me looks better. So this way, anytime I pause, students know that I'll be right back. So click Save, and now that's the image. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to move down here to Settings. There are other preferences you may want to review, but for this tutorial we're going to stick to Settings. So once you click Settings, I want you to scroll down until you get to where it says Schedule Meeting. And I noticed that the host video, start meeting with host video on. If you don't want your video on when you start the meeting, you can toggle this on or off. As well as participants videos. If you want to start the meeting with participant videos on or off, you can toggle this on or off. For the audio type, you want to make sure that the telephone and computer audio are available to your participants so that they can either call via telephone or use the computer for audio. This join before host just would allow participants to join a meeting before the host arrives. So if students get in early, this would allow them to join early. If you want to turn that off, you can just toggle this off. And you notice it automatically saves. Another one that you may want to be cautious of is this mute participants upon entry. Turning this on will automatically mute all participants as they join the meeting. Scrolling down a little further, under In Meeting Basic, you'll see under the chat, allow meeting participants to send a message visible to all participants. This will allow students to chat to everyone. Again, you can turn this on or off depending on your preference. And then this one here, private chat, allow meeting participants to send a private message to other participants. This being on would allow students to send chats to each other, bypassing the teacher. So you may want to consider turning that off. Scrolling down a little further, if you have a co-teacher set up, you may want to turn on the co-host option. This would allow the host to add a co-host so you both could control the Zoom meeting. For screen sharing, allow hosts and participants to share their screen. If you do not want students to share their screen, you would make it host only. For annotations, allowing hosts and participants to use annotation. This lets them put little stickers or draw on a screen. If you want to not allow that, you would toggle it here. Also, if you don't want them to save it, you would uncheck the box and click Save. Same with the whiteboard. If you want the host or participants to share whiteboard during a meeting, you would turn this on or off. And again, for the saving, you would uncheck this box and click Save. Next is meeting reactions. Meeting reactions are the thumbs up or the claps that students can do to either get the teacher's attention or participate in a class discussion. One thing to keep in mind is depending on the version of Zoom that the student has, they may have more or less reaction options for them. Some, for example, are heart shapes, and if the host does not have that version or a higher version, then the reaction will not come through on the screen. So, for example, if the student has the heart reaction and clicks the heart reaction, but the teacher does not have that option on their Zoom, the heart reaction will not appear on the screen. So you'll want to be careful as you set up some standard classroom rules on what each reaction is meant. So maybe for raising your hand, it's a clap, or for agreeing with something with class discussion, it's a thumbs up. You'll just want to be cautious of the limitations of the reactions for the different versions. Scrolling down a little further, if you want to allow your students to rename themselves, which shows up on the participant list, you will toggle this on. If you do not want to allow them to, you can simply turn this off. Going down a little bit further, and now we're in Meeting Advanced. Here are the options for breakout rooms, where you'll want to turn this on to ensure that you have the ability for breakout rooms, which can be used for small groups. You can click this little button here to allow yourself to assign participants to certain breakout rooms when scheduling. That's saved. There are several other options that you can look through for your settings that you may want to consider for your concurrent students. But for now, I think we're just going to call it there. And if you have any questions, feel free to put in a help ticket and we'll gladly help out. Thanks.